You, yes you, watching this video, you have upset Sarah Boone. If you want to upset her even more, drop a like, subscribe, make sure you comment. What is behind me is a minute order from 9/19/2022, filed in open court, as you can see here. I still assume that this is what Sarah Boone means when she claims that 9/19/2020 there was a court appearance, because as far as I can tell, that never occurred. Now, she says that there was a verbal order that Brian needed to keep paying alimony, but the court minutes just say, court ruling, this court will take no action on the notice for trial filed by Mr. Martel. Mr. Mendoza will provide an order to the court regarding any child support being vacated temporarily. This will be solely based on Miss Boone's incarcerated. Miss Boone completed change of address form in open court. So yeah, no child support. But that's not all. Sarah Boone filed to withdraw her previous motion, claiming it was filed prematurely. And her new motion, I'm going to be quite honest with you, isn't really worth showing, because it is essentially the same thing, except she fixed a few dates. She still says the 9/19/2020 court date mentioned, that again, I can't find any records of. But Sarah Boone seems to have been shamed by social media into dropping her attempt to still get the child support now. Now she claims she wants it to be canceled, and anything that's been held now given to Brian. But of course, Sarah still wants a say in how the money is spent. Ridiculous. Ridiculous she's still trying to exert that control, because I think she's realizing she's going to lose in court, and she's literally grasping for anything she can get. But Sarah is also really upset the world knows what she filed, because it was so bad. She is now asking the court to fully seal the case, because the things she says are covered on social media. And of course, what does she say to excuse this? It needs to be sealed because of her son's mental health. Sarah's lackey watching this video. No one is harassing the son. No one's harassing Sarah. People are talking about a court case. A court case done by a convicted murderer. A convicted murderer who her own lawyer tried to argue has narcissistic tendencies that continue to show up when she wants to exert control over people she should have nothing to do with. For example, in the new filing claiming, oh, you can have the child support, I don't want it in prison anymore, after being shamed, but I still want to control how it's spent. No, Sarah. That's not how this works. If you want to talk about someone damaging the son's mental health, I would argue it's Sarah Boone. I would argue it's Sarah Boone forcing him to call. I would argue it's Sarah Boone trying to have a court order that he has to speak to her 3 times a week, that he can't have a single holiday away from her, at least until he turns 18. Sarah could have just agreed to drop the alimony. Sarah could have just agreed to not have the child support. That's what Sarah should have done. That's what a normal person would have done. Sarah also could have decided in the murder case that it's important to be there for her son, right? She could have taken the plea deal of 15 years. Now it's life. Now it's life because of Sarah. Sarah could have went up at sentencing and at least pretended to be sorry. But Sarah, no. What Sarah did is she made it all about herself insulting others, made a media spectacle about it. A media spectacle that got massive views, unlike my videos. Then Sarah didn't have enough. she had to file another version of it for the public because she wants public attention where she wants it. And she filed that document, insulting even more people. Sarah Boone is just awful. There is, anytime she has a chance to redeem herself, a little bit, she can't do it. For example, I was reading where she's going to drop the child support. Now, she's obviously, in my opinion, doing it because of shame, right? Maybe not shame, but maybe, if I do this, it makes me look so bad to the judge, I won't win my alimony. Maybe that's what's going through her head, right? But I know it's not out of the goodness of her heart. But she's at least doing something good until she gets to the last line and she wants to still control the money. And how much do you want to bet? I just get the feeling that if the judge ruled that Sarah does get to have some control over that Sarah would start arguing, well, for the good of the child, I should have this in prison. Or Sarah would start trying to control the son using the money. Well, he didn't call me, so I'm not going to approve him getting the child support used. Sounds very Sarah Boone, doesn't it? And what's funny is she probably thinks that, like, I'd be outraged if they actually sealed these files, right? And I wouldn't, Sarah. Because what that would mean is people would stop caring about you again. They'd stop looking at what you're doing. And I bet if that happens, Sarah will then start filing back on the public docket on her criminal case. Because I don't think she's going to win this. I don't think she's going to win any of this. I don't think she's going to get any requirements for that son to call her. I don't think she's going to get any child support. I don't think she's going to get any alimony. The nerve to only edit after it gets called out. And then even then, remember, I still can't find the 9/19/2020 date having existed. And that little aspect there is the core to her case. Why can't I find it? Why can't anyone find it? Could it be a lie? Could it all be a lie? To manipulate? Could that be the case?